It's a new day. This is CBS 12 News This Morning.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage. We are tracking Nicole this morning. Good morning, I'm Matt Lincoln.
And I'm Sam Kerrigan. Right now there are hurricane warnings along our coast from Boca Raton to Sebastian.
Let's get right to meteorologist Lauren Oleski. Of course, she's here with our Jen Collins, tracking the storm this morning. All right, Nicole, you're Lauren.
Yeah.
That's Nicole. What's the latest here? What kind of updates you want to give to us?
So I want to give you that visual of those warnings that are currently in effect for the area. Indian River, St. Lucie, Martin counties are under hurricane warnings. That also includes coastal Palm Beach County, essentially along the intracoastal and then east of that area. So inland Palm Beach County is right now under a tropical storm warning. Lake-O under a tropical storm warning, Okeechobee County, and then further inland, and then the further north you go up the state. We got our 7 o'clock update about a half an hour ago. No changes to that intermediate advisory. Winds are still at 70 miles per hour. We are seeing Nicole organize a little bit more. It's a very large storm, so it's probably going to have some trouble strengthening a little bit. That's why we don't expect it to go past Category 1 hurricane status. It will probably become a Category 1 hurricane later today before it moves on shore late tonight and overnight into early tomorrow morning. It'll weaken quickly once it moves on shore as well. We know that storms fuel themselves from the warm ocean waters below, so once it moves on shore with land, there's too much friction there, and these things just fall apart. Winds are out of the northeast. Of course, they're very strong. We've got these rain bands already coming on shore. Heavy downpours have been moving through as well. And those swells, they're just getting stronger out there. This is a live look now up in Sebastian. Very windy, rough surf across the area for us. We'll look at our current wind speeds. They're sustained at nearly 30 miles per hour right now in Stewart, 15 miles per hour in Fort Pierce. And our winds are just going to go up throughout the day. The conditions will gradually be getting worse over the next several hours into the afternoon and, of course, early evening. The worst conditions expected overnight, probably between, I'd say, about 10 p.m. and about 2 a.m. tomorrow as Nicole moves on shore. Right now, this specific model, similar to what the cone was showing, is giving us a landfall right around probably about 2, 3 a.m. tomorrow. Yes, in our area. We haven't seen a November landfalling hurricane in the state of Florida in years, since 1935. It's been quite some time, so this would actually be kind of one of the later storms that we see make landfall along the east coast of Florida. Heading into then Thursday and then eventually by Friday, it'll still be a little breezy for the end of the week, but our conditions do improve quite a bit outside. Winds are coming in out of the northeast. Of course, we're going to see those periodic rain bands getting thrown onshore too. Heavy downpour is a big threat. We got a flooding threat out there today. That's just what comes with the territory when these tropical systems move inland. And then likely making landfall somewhere along the Treasure Coast, it looks like right now. And then as we move through the morning tomorrow and Nicole pulls away, the drier air settles back in and it takes all the moisture with it. So aside from a little lingering shower or two, I'm not expecting a ton of rain to really fall late into the day tomorrow. The majority of it's coming tonight and early Thursday morning. A good portion of our area, specifically Treasure Coast counties, Okeechobee, Northern Palm Beach County, under a slight risk for severe weather. That's a 2 on a scale from 1 to 5. So it's kind of a lower threat, but as we know with tropical systems, isolated tornadoes are possible, and since a good portion of the area is on the right side of the storm in terms of its forward motion, we have the possibility to see a few isolated tornadoes out there. Shouldn't be leaving, but hey, we're in the 70s out there right now. Just a quick check on those current temperatures. Let's bring in meteorologist Jennifer Collins. So we've got the threat for some flooding out there today. Flood watches issued for the entire area for about the next 24 hours or so, Jen.
Yeah, the flood watch remains in effect for the entire, like you said, for the entire area. Of course, that means we have the potential of seeing localized flooding. This does not include the coastal flooding we will see the potential of seeing, especially along our immediate coastline. Of course, we are just getting away from that full moon phase. Plus, we have king tides. We're already starting to see some coastal intrusion around our morning high tide at about 8:30, and then our evening high tide once again too. When you factor in the onshore wind, it makes it even worse. Now, this is due to rainfall. We have a flood watch in effect for the entire viewing area. Essentially, if we get heavy rainfall at times, we could see the potential for localized flooding in some spots. We already have some saturated rivers, especially for the Kissimmee River, so additional water in some of this area will lead to additional impacts in roadways and, of course, the river itself. Here's a look at rain expected over the next day. We will see the highest rainfall totals, of course, to the east side of the system, on the northern end of it. course, with the large size of the storm as well, those impacts will range from along the east coast of Florida all the way north. Along the Treasure Coast, we're looking anywhere from about 2 to 5 inches of rain. Isolated higher amounts in some of the stronger downpours. The further south you go, this is a fairly lopsided system, so actually dry air will remain in place to the south. We're going to see less rain activity in that area. Of course, looking inland towards Okeechobee, here's your impact graphic. We will see the worst conditions moving in this afternoon, and actually you'll be the last to see the conditions move out of your area by Thursday afternoon. Winds sustained right around 40 to 50 miles per hour. And again, as that storm makes landfall, we will see the potential of some higher wind gusts as well. That could be in excess of 70 miles per hour inland. Back to you.
All right, Jen, thank you. And this morning, there are mandatory evacuations in place for residents in Palm Beach County who live along the coast and other vulnerable areas. Take a look at your screen. If you are in zones A and B, evacuations will be in effect starting at 7 a.m. Zone A includes mobile homes and homes in areas that are prone to flooding. Zone B includes barrier islands, north and south of Jupiter Inlet, and intracoastal areas. Indian River County is also issuing a recommended evacuation starting this morning. This includes areas east of US 1, including the barrier islands, low-lying, flood-prone areas, residents with mobile home or vulnerable housing, and people with special medical needs. Call the number on your screen if you need more information. And with these mandatory evacuations put in place, officials want you to know your zone. You can find out if you are in a flood zone by going to floridadisaster.org and click on the Know Your Zone map. You can enter your address and see if you're located in one of the areas. Zone A, as we said, would be the first to evacuate.
And right now, emergency shelters are opening at several Palm Beach County schools. If you do need to evacuate, find a safe place to go. Take a look at your screen. The shelters are listed there right now. They include Palm Beach Gardens High School, Independence Middle School, Palm Beach Central High, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Elementary, Park Vista High School, Lakeshore Middle School, and Pahokee Middle School.
In St. Lucie County, Treasure Coast High School in Port St. Lucie has opened as a shelter, along with Fort Pierce Westwood Academy. This is the only pet-friendly shelter. And a special needs shelter is available at the Havard L. Fence Center in Fort Pierce.
In Indian River County, shelters are open at VBHS Freshman Learning Center in Vero Beach. The 800 wing is open to pets, and Treasure Coast Elementary School in Sebastian is open as a special needs shelter.
In Martin County, Jensen Beach High School, Warfield Elementary, and Port Salerno Elementary are all shelters. Willow Bee Learning Center in Stewart is pet friendly, and Anderson Middle School is a special needs shelter.
And in Okeechobee County, 2 shelters will be open at 8 o'clock this morning. A general population and pet-friendly shelter will open at South Elementary School, and a special needs shelter will open at the Department of Health. Registration is required there. If you plan on going to any of these shelters, make sure you bring your own bedding, medications, and any other necessities that you might need.
All right, here at 7:38, it's time to go check in with our reporters who are out in the field getting a first-hand look at the conditions that are outside right now.
Yeah, we'll start right now with our Stephanie Valderrama. She is live from the Fort Pierce Marina. Stephanie, how are things looking out there right now?
Yeah, hey Sam, we've heard Lauren talking about it all morning. The wind really starting to pick up here. We're actually right by the Fort Pierce South Bridge. Take a look, the water really choppy at this area. Even the birds struggling to just fly around this area. Now with the light of day, we're starting to see people actually coming out here to the marina and starting to secure their boats, making sure things are in place as Nicole does move towards this area. Earlier today, we've been driving around, checking out different locations to see if people are actually boarding up their homes and businesses. Now in downtown Fort Pierce, we've shown you all morning, it was just the Sunrise Theater and the building across the street that were boarded up, and just a few sandbags were put out. We do want to continue reminding people that those in Zone A and Zone B should start evacuating by 10 a.m. this morning. So for those who might not be familiar, if you don't know your zone, those areas include the St. Lucie River, Indian River Lagoon, and anyone, of course, living in any manufactured or mobile home and any RVs in low-lying areas. Sandbags are also going to be made available for people in this area. They're going to be available at JC Park, Pioneer Park, and Martin Luther King Jr. Dreamland Park. We're actually going to head to JC Park and see if anyone is in that area trying to get sand, prep their homes ahead of the storm. We're going to bring that to you live in the next hour. Back to you.
And Stephanie mentioned, people are out there starting to check stuff out before, the storm really makes landfall. We've been seeing that in other places along the coast as well.
Yeah, last time we checked in with Dylan Huberman in Indian River County by Vero Beach, he was speaking to someone live there. But Dylan, what are you seeing there now?
Now we're seeing this erosion here on the beachfront here, these dunes. These swells are up to 15 feet, waves breaking at over 20 feet according to the National Weather Service. We've seen a bunch of waves come up on top of this sand dune here, even come up and splash a few people in the face coming over the top. For the moment, they're just coming right here at the bottom, but we've seen a few come up. I actually got a little wet a couple of minutes ago when one came right up here over my head. So we'll hopefully see a few more of those in the coming minutes. But this pier that we're on has a lot of debris on it because at the moment, the waves are coming up. We're going to continue to monitor this situation and see how these dunes survive over the next couple hours. For now, in Vero Beach, Dylan Huberman, CBS 12 News.
Certainly, it is looking rough out there.
Yeah, and only getting worse as the day goes on. We want to continue our team coverage now with CBS 12's Kara Duffy.
We're going to get to Kara here in a second, but first we need to take a quick break. We'll have more right here as we are tracking Nicole here on CBS 12 News this morning. Stick with us.